about today in talking about rejoicing. You can rejoice in persecution. Luke 6, verse 22 and 23 says, "Blessed are you when men hate you, and when they exclude you, and revile you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Rejoice in that day, and leap for joy, for indeed your reward is great in heaven. For in like manner their fathers did to the prophets." What it's saying is, do not only bear your burdens or bear your persecution, but triumph in them. Yeah. We like to use the term Satan meant it for bad, but God turned it into good.
Come on now, Pastor.
You need to learn that when you're going through stuff,
Yes.
even though you're being persecuted, as long as you're being persecuted for the sake of Christ,
That's right. That's right.
you don't rejoice because of the persecution, but you can rejoice in it. Because you know why you're being persecuted.
Yes, sir.
You remember in the book of Acts when they got to talking about it, the disciples, when they took them before the higher ups, and when they took them before them, and they told them, we don't want you talking about Jesus no more, and they whooped them and told them, get out of here, don't you talk about Jesus no more. And they left there rejoicing that they were found worthy. And we were preaching so good, they trying to shut us up.
Yes, sir.
And they thought that was something to be glad about. Have you ever stopped to consider that because of your Christian life, you are being persecuted?
Right.
Well, believe it. Some folk don't like you. And when they look up and see you coming, the first thing out of their mouth is, there come that old Christian. There come that old church lady.
The church lady.
Call yourself a deacon.
Yeah. Come on, Pastor. Make it plain for him.
They do that.
Yes, sir. You do.
And the scripture says, rejoice.
Rejoice. Hallelujah.
Because you were found worthy. That means you're doing something.
Come on, Pastor. Yes. The haters.
Now, if they ain't talking about you,
That's when you be worried.
don't be ashamed,
Don't.
but be glad
Yes.
Sir.
and rejoice.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Be glad, rejoice, because you were found worthy. Your reward is great in heaven.
Yeah.
The old song says it like this. It says, don't build me a mansion down here because I'm not going to be here long. I'm going somewhere. With Majestic Wonders years ago, we did a song called I'm Going Up Yonder, where Jesus is. So don't worry about what's going on down here. Because one of these mornings, and it won't be long, you will look for me and I'll be gone. I'm going
Yes, sir.
up yonder.
Yes, sir.
Rejoice
Rejoice.
in expectations. Rejoicing in hope. Romans 12:12 says, rejoice in hope, patient in tribulation, and continue steadfastly in prayer.
Yes, sir.
Be joyful in hope. This means that no matter what is going on around us, no matter where we are at that time, we still have reason to rejoice.
Yes, sir.
You should be constantly looking at what's ahead and not where you are right now.
Yes, sir.
I prepare now for the worst, but I'm always hoping
There it
for
is.
the best.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The Living Bible translated this way says, be glad, for all God is planning for you. As followers of Christ, we are never without hope. There's always hope.
Always.
It's going to get better.
Yep.
I believe Shirley Caesar put it this way. She said, you're next in line. You're next in line.
Yes, sir.
Don't look at it all the folks in front of you, but think about it in turn. You next in line. I've been living that way for a long time. You hear publishers clear the house and all this other stuff and all this money you're supposed to be able to win, and I keep thinking, I'm next in line.
Yeah. Somewhere.
I ain't got the 7,000 a week yet, but I'm next in line.
Right.
Hope!
Oh.
When you lose hope, that's when things get deep.
That's it. That's it.
Let them know, Pastor.
You can never lose hope.
Can't.
I talk from experience. I know from my Vietnam experience, that was one of the things that we had to take the attitude about, which it messed up a lot of us. We had a lot of stuff we had to try to get corrected once we got back here.
Yes,
but
sir.
we had a saying when we was in Vietnam, ain't nothing but a thing.
Hey, there it is.
We gonna make it.
Gonna make it. Yes, sir.
My only prayer was, I said, Lord, I came over here with all my limbs, all my toes, my fingers, both my eyes. Now, when I go back home, I want to have everything I came over here.
Please, sir, Lord.
And if I ain't going back with everything I came over here with, I don't want to go back. That was mine. And I just knew I was going to make it.
Yes.
I knew it. Then when I got back, that hope that I had that got me through that, I had to change that real quick. Because that hope wouldn't work over here.
Yeah.
Don't work.
I had to get a different hope.
Yeah.
I had to get back to my roots.
All right.
I grew up in the church.
Jesus.
So I had to go back to the church to find myself. And that same hope that I had over there, once I got back connected to my power source,
Yes.
I
Power
had the
source.
same kind of hope.
Well,
Yes, I'm next. My blessing is on the way. When I see somebody around me being blessed, I don't get mad.
Come on. God is in the
I don't get
building.
jealous.
Yeah.
I can say, hey,
Yeah. Here I go.
here I am.
Yeah.
I'm next. And God always works it out.
yes, sir.
Every time.
You're thinking that
Every time.
the worst of things is about to happen. And the next thing you know, God has turned it around.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Lord.
All the time.
So as a Christian, you're never without hope.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Never.
Never.
There's always a chance.
That's it.
Jackson Sutherland said, as long as there's breath in your body,
Long as I got King Jesus.
you got a chance.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Then you need to rejoice in communion.
Uh-huh.
I therefore do rejoice. Philippians 1:18 says, what then? Only that in every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is preached, and in this I rejoice. Yes, and I will rejoice. Paul's attitude was this. Paul said he knew that there were some folk that were preaching to build up their own reputation.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Paul
sir.
said there were some folk, even though he was in prison, and they were trying to tear down his name, as long as they were preaching about Jesus, he had reason to rejoice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he might be low down, no good, stealing all the folk money, but long as he talking about Jesus.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Gonna let them know.
Paul said, I still got reason to rejoice. Cause the word getting out there.
It's getting out there.
Old folks who say the word of God is good, even if it come out of hell's mouth.
Yeah.
You don't need to be trying to judge folk as far as their character, long as they are talking about Jesus and it's in the proper perspective. You have reason to rejoice.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because as long as Christ is going forward,
Well,
as long as it's being pushed out there,
Yes, sir.
you got some reason to rejoice.
well.
Because you know your living is not in vain.
Uh-huh.
While you were yet sinners. And I
Yes,
think
sir.
this came up yesterday in the Sunday school lesson. Christ died for us.
That's right.
Come on, preacher.
He didn't wait till you got right. So why you waiting till you get right?
Come on, Pastor. You better tell it this morning.
Right, preacher.
Thank you.
If he had said, well, when they get right.
Right.
My Lord.
You'll still be waiting.
Huh.
He said, if my people that are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and seek my face.
Jesus.
Then, and even after making that statement, he said, well, okay, I'm going to die for you anyway.
Thank you.
Whether you call on me or not,
Yeah.
I'm going to make the way.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
I'm going to go ahead and make the way.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you take advantage of that, but it's going to be there.
It's there for you.
Don't complain about not having a cool drink of water.
Come on, preacher.
And you won't turn on the faucet.
Say it again.
Why are you complaining?
Yeah.
Well, all you got to do is go to the faucet and turn it on and get you a cool drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't got no water. If you had to do like we used to do, you go to one of them, you see that old pump sitting out there, and you see a bucket there with some water in it. That water wasn't for you to drink. That water was for you to prime the pump. Once you got that pump primed, you pump all the water you want, and then you fill that can back up and leave it sitting there for the next person.
Yeah.
See, we have to learn that Paul wasn't selfish. Paul said, I don't care who preaches, as long as they're preaching about Jesus.
Yes, sir.
I ain't got to be the one doing the preaching. I can get back there and I can boost anybody, as long as they preach about Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell a little story that I can tell it now because the fellow that made the comment, he's no longer with us, he's gone on the glory, but he told us one day, as a young preacher, he came over to preach for us, and we were talking about something, and he said, I'm going to show y'all something today, and the reason I'm going to show you this is because I want you to know, as long as you got your conversation right, people will go along with you. He says, when I close, when I reach a point, all I am going to say is peas and cornbread. And I want you to watch the reaction of the people. Sure enough, he laid everything out. He preached his sermon. He went by Calvary's cross. And all of a sudden, he just read back. Peas. And folks went nuts. And us young preachers sitting back there looking at one another. Huh? How you do that? His point was, once you tell the gospel story. And once you tell it like it's supposed to be told, you can say peas and cornbread and they'll accept it because they heard what they really wanted to hear. That Jesus is alive.
Yes, sir.
And that's all they needed to hear. They got hope now.
Hope.
When you are communing with the Father, you can rejoice because you know that no matter what that person's motive is, the right story is going forth. Then you need to rejoice in repetition. Huh? Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say, rejoice.
Rejoice.
It might seem strange that a man in prison would be telling church folk to rejoice.
Yes, sir.
But I remember when a friend of mine, T.C., passed away. We all went to the hospital to see him. And when we went there to see him, instead of us trying to make him feel better, he was looking at the sad faces we had, and from his hospital bed, he was the one that was encouraging us. Yeah. All right, fellas, I'm sick. I'm down right now. But don't worry about it. Even if the Lord called me home, y'all go on. Y'all don't let this thing go because of me. Y'all keep it going. That next day, he was gone. We had to bury our friend. But because of what he said,
Yes, sir.
we were determined. We were going on.
Yeah.
Well, the Majestic Wonders, the fellows just retired the other year after 47 years of singing gospel music. Most of them got too old to walk up the steps to the church. So they decided they would retire. I'm still going on with the old times. I was one of the original members. But I'll never forget that conversation. We should have been encouraging him. And he was encouraging us.
Yes, sir.
And you wonder why every Sunday you hear about how Jesus died and rose again. Repetition. Now let me put the repetition in a different way. Every day I see new mercies.
Brand new.
Every day.
Every day.
Every morning when I wake up, I see a new mercy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I woke up,
Yeah.
clothed in my right mind. I woke up and I got food on the table. So I can't help but rejoice.
Yes, sir.
And it's repetitive. Every day, I got something to rejoice about.
Every day, all day.
I laid down, I had a toenail ache. But when I woke up, the toenail ache quit.
Thank you, Lord.
A lot of them things, bro. A lot of them things.
Laid down, my mind was all in a state of confusion. But when I woke up the next morning, I forgot about what I was all confused about.
Right.
Every day, I got a reason to rejoice. Every Sunday, I got a reason
Yes, sir.
to rejoice.
Yes, sir.
Lord, I pray for my little house of prayer. One more time.
Yeah.
Repetitive. It's got to be some repetition. I know Generation X, y'all ready to do a whole lot of changes, but let me tell you something.
Tell.
Some stuff you just got to keep repeating. Why you put it that way? Because even a lie that's told often enough will start sounding like the truth.
Right.
You see what just happened in our political situation? They've been telling a lie and been telling it so long till some folk think it's the truth. What if we treated Jesus like that? And we know he's good.
Right.
We know he's the truth and the light.
Yes, sir.
We know that he's our everything.
Yes.
What if we just keep repeating and telling folks about the goodness of the Lord?
Yeah.
How many times have you seen it in a worship service and somebody start talking about when I think about Jesus? and what it does for me.
Yes.
I can just dance.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
you go to the club and dance all night, you ought to be able to
You
dance.
better say it, Pastor. Don't get tired now.
Repetition. Joy. That's what the text said. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say, rejoice. You ought to rejoice in the Lord. If you know you've been born again.
Yes, sir.
Let me put it this way. If you know that you know that you know that you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
you've been born again,
Yeah.
then you ought to rejoice. You ought not let nothing bring you down. As long as you got King Jesus,
Yes. You don't need nobody else.
what else you need? I remember hearing my daddy say in a service one night, man was preaching, and he kept preaching. And he kept saying, can I get some help? My daddy, with that deep voice of here, said, you got Jesus, preach.
Go ahead now.
You don't need no other help.
No.
As long as you got Jesus, you can go ahead and preach.
Yes, sir.
And the fellow kind of cut it out back there, and I guess the way my dad said it, he said, well, I guess I better go ahead on. So we mistake happiness for joy. Happiness is external. Joy is internal.
Teach, Pastor.
Joy comes from within.
Yes.
I can be a happy fellow as long as I know what I'm about.
Yeah.
As long as I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Somebody said, how can you rejoice when you find yourself? Well, it feels good just to be able to go home. It ain't got to argue with nobody.
Stop, Pastor.
I know y'all won't do nothing like that, but just think about that. When you go, if you dread going home because you know when you get there, the argument gonna start as soon as you open the door. Yeah.
Fix it, Jesus.
You gonna stay away from the house as long as you can. But when you know, when all hell is broken loose outside, you can go home and find peace.
Peace. I got peace of mind.
Yes, you ought to be repetitive in your rejoicing.
Yes, sir.
It ought not just come every now and then, but it ought to be an everyday thing.
Yes.
It ought to be a continual thing. You ought to be able to identify with Christ in His suffering.
Yes, sir.
You ought to be able to identify with Him to the point that when you are persecuted for His sake, it brings a smile to your face. Knowing that I'm representing Christ in the right manner.
Yes, sir.
I'm representing Him in a manner that makes sinners uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know you're doing something right.
Right.
If you walk in a room and sinners are sitting around the table drinking, and nobody touches their drink as long as you're present. And you have to leave their presence before they take a drink because they have that much respect for who you represent.
Yes, sir.
And they know that you have been changed.
Yes, sir.
They know that you have been washed in the blood. And I'll give you reason to rejoice. Somebody is here today. You think that because of your circumstances, you don't have no reason to rejoice. Let me tell you something. If you woke up this morning, you got reason to rejoice. Just because you don't have but one piece of bread in the loaf, you don't have no reason to be sad. You need to remember and passed up a little bit of meal in his bag. And they gave the prophet a meal. And when they went back to the family, he found there was still a little meal left in the bag. And when he went back the next day, there was a little meal left in the bag. You got reason to rejoice. You may not have a thing, but you got food on your table. You may not have a friend for the but you still got vegetables to go with. You can rejoice, because you know that the Lord is still in the time. He will supply all of your needs. Earthly strength, but according to his riches and glory, you won't be able to rejoice in the Lord. You won't be able to rejoice because you know who you belong. I belong to God. I belong to God. From the top of my head to the sole of my feet, I belong to God. Yes! I don't understand. Yes! I move for the Lord. And say, go! I'm on my way. For glory. You can accept Christ just right where you are. You can accept Him right now and put your name on the roll as soon as possible. If I were you, I would be to the Lord, so that I would have a reason to rejoice. To live holy.